Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Just in case you haven't been here before, I just have a few random things that I work on. Figure I'd make videos of them. So currently I have a cargo trailer here that I want a RV door latch on. So this is what I'm doing. And just in case you hear some background noise, there's a heater down here and a tarp, because as you can see there's snow and ice. It's about 10 degrees, so if you hear anything, that's what it is. Gotta stay warm and get things done, right? So this is the inside of the door. There's different style of framing of the door. This one has wood in the middle that is horizontal running this way, and then just edges that are wood. This is a U channel that goes around the door. So let me show the inside a little bit. So what I did, here's a latch. They're all very typical. You can find them for like 30 bucks or so on Amazon. They're pretty much the same dimensions for the most part. So I made a cardboard template. So you basically just measure your opening here, and the same for your height, and that's that and that, and then your strike is going to be from there to the back side of here. This goes on the outside of the door. Okay, so that's what your measurements are. And one important thing to keep track of is inside and outside, because as you can tell, if you don't keep it right and right side up, it's going to get messed up, and you're going to cut a big hole in your door and it'll be wrong. So I just labeled it outside and up in the deadbolt so I can orientate it inside. So you just put it on there and draw a pencil line around it, basically just to the edge of the door, and there's your cutout. Now, what a lot of people make the mistake of doing is cutting this. You don't want to cut that, because otherwise the latch won't cover it. So how do you cut it? Well, one easy way is take a drill bit and drill the corners, and you can use a Dremel. That works pretty good, allows you to get right tight in the corners. You can use a 4.5 inch angle grinder with a cutting wheel in it. That works fine. It just doesn't allow you to get in as tight, so I would recommend a Dremel first. If you only have to buy one tool, you know, I would buy the Dremel. Make sure you got a bunch of cutting discs, because they break easy. Okay, now as you remember our cardboard, gotta flip it because we're now on the inside, and that's our cutout. Now I did have to cut this angle here to get it to fit in there. And for notching this, what I would recommend is a Oscillating Multitool. Works excellent. They have blades that are real narrow, down to like a 1/2 inch, so it allows you to get into really tight areas to just get right up in there. So just cut the metal and then just get in there with the multi-tool. And same thing, you know, once you get the aluminum cut on the outside, just run all the way through it. If you want to take the inside here all the way off, you can. I didn't bother because this one doesn't really matter. I can just touch it up with a little paint and it'll be fine. So this plate is on there, so it won't actually fit in there, but that plate will just fit on the outside like that. Put it in from the outside, just kind of snake it in there. Okay, now onto the latch. Now what I did was made a little couple lines, close it where the strike hits it. Just make a couple marks, transfer them over, and then you have a rough idea. And again, use a Dremel to cut through the aluminum here, and there's just a little bit of a gap into the steel framing, and I had to cut a little bit wide for this part to fit in there. And you have a lot of flexibility in and out this way with the slots. Then for the deadbolt, I wanted that to go in a little bit farther so that it would hold it solid. So I drilled a hole, and if you're not familiar with drilling in steel, use a low speed, use oil, and use like a 1/8 inch bit to start, and then just work up in like 1/16 increments. So 1/8, 1/4, 5/16, 3/8. Once you get up to about 1/4 or so, you can use one of these Stepbit or Unibit, I think is a brand name. That works pretty good. I believe that hole should be somewhere around 5/8 of an inch. Just to make sure the deadbolt strike can fit in there. And this does kind of the same idea, just a little bit at a time. And again, use oil, helps a lot. And then basically just assemble it, get it all together, and you should be good. You can always oil this a little bit, oil the where the strike bolt itself, so that it glides in there real nice. And I'll put it back together and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so it's partway done, and I also, because this is going to be visible here, I just spray painted a little black on there just to make it look a little nicer. Otherwise it was that nickel shining stuff. Okay, so there it's back installed. Needs a little adjustment, but you get the idea. Now, just in case you're wondering how you get everything to line up, basically you want to measure from the outside edge of the door, and mine has this U-shaped channel on here, so I have to take that into account in the measurement and measure in to the edge of the strike. And for the strike plate, so you can see where that hits, just make some marks on the aluminum there, and then down a little bit for the deadbolt, and that gives you your height. Then you got to figure out where this is going to line up so you can make your holes and get your plate lined up in and out. So on mine, the door lines up flush with the outside of the trailer, so it's pretty easy. So you just measure here to here, and that gives you your measurement from here to here. And then you can just make your adjustments in and out a little bit. These are some self-tapping screws, a number 10 by 3/4, and that will go through the plate and the steel inside there. I like to drill an 1/8 inch pilot hole anyway, just easier. And then you just make your cutout, get your screws in there, drill your hole, and you should be good. Hopefully I helped you a little bit, and if you have any questions, like always, you can leave a comment, ask your question. I or someone else will respond to it. And good luck. If I can do it out here in the 10-degree cold, I'm sure you can do it too. Just get yourself a few tools. Like I mentioned, the multi-tool makes cutting the wood real easy. Depending on what your door framing is in here, it'll take a variety of tools. So there's hole saws you might need. Some of them have a steel frame in the door edge here. You got to drill through that. You can use a hole saw, probably like a 3/4 inch or something. You just do what you got to do to get it done. So good luck.